Everyone, hope you're keeping well. I trust that you're enjoying this series on what I wish I knew when I was in optometry school. This series is practical, is necessary, I believe, for eye care professionals who are in university schools and want to have clarity on what the journey will be like of their academic career. And so the first episode was, of course, on shadowing and the impact it has to your academic career, your professional journey as a whole. Today's one is all about investing in your area of competency or area of interest. What do we mean by that? A lot of people don't have clarity on what it is they like within the eye care industry. They get into optometry, all they know is that I'm passionate about eyes, but not necessarily something specific about eyes. And so let's say you find yourself not sure on what area of competency you are interested in. What do you then do to make sure that you can have a career in eye care? It's very simple. Expose yourself. Expose yourself to the entire industry. Expose yourself to the different aspects of the industry. There's the academic component of the industry. And so expose yourself. Look at the different academic institutions. Look at what life looks like beyond the 4 years of study. If you want to study further, what that journey looks like, you go in the academic route. Does that mean that you have to be in an academic environment? If so, what are the opportunities financially, professionally, personally? What will that mean for you if your journey in optometry is via the academic route? Talk to different lecturers, talk to different academic institutions, visit different academic institutions, not only in your country, but throughout the continent. If you are having the opportunity of going abroad, do so, but expose yourself to as much of the academic component as you possibly can. If you're not sure that, and then let's say after you've done that, you're still not sure, expose yourself to the clinical component. Look at what are the different clinical pearls that you need to know or that play a role in optometric practice. So what you are busy being taught at optometric school, go. If you're busy with a low vision subject or course, and it's at first year, second year, third year, and so forth, whilst that is happening, go and find minimum five low vision practitioners or 5 optometrists or practices that specialize in low vision. You do the same with contact lenses. You do the same with pediatrics. You do the same with binocular vision and vision therapy. You do the same with all this pathology that we get to learn. What does that mean when it comes to practice? Would you be able to prescribe? What can you prescribe? And how does it actually work if your interest is pathology? And you go further, you look at the equipment that is being utilized at the university. It might be sponsored by a particular equipment company, right? The practice that you're going in might be having different equipment than the one that you are working in throughout your academic career or optometry school. So whatever that you're busy with clinically, expose yourself. Go out of your comfort zone on weekends, during holidays, where you are going to go to practices. You're going to find practices. You're going to research practices. You're going to go onto Google and search practices that practice different competency areas within optometry, within the clinical component of optometry. So that the more exposure you have, the more clarity then you can get pertaining to the area of interest with regards to that particular competency area. Then you also do the same with business. Yes, sometimes in optometric schools, if not most of the time, the challenge or the concerns people have sometimes is that the business side of optometry, you get more context of it when you get to third and final year optometry school. I personally believe that is too late, but that's a topic for another day. But you saying Well, I was not taught that at university is absolutely no excuse. Nothing is stopping you from going out of your way to look at, wait a minute, the academic environment is not for me, but I like contact lenses. I like speciality contact lenses, or I like low vision. I like, the impact that being a low vision practitioner does to people's lives. Your responsibility as a student is to ensure that you're going to go to different low vision type of practices or different contact lens orientated practices and expose yourself to that. And that's how you invest in your area of competency skills or competency area of interest. And when you get there, you're going to make sure that you're exposing yourself to someone who's having a type of practice like that, who in different communities. So you're not going to just go to one practice and think that's enough. You want to look at someone who's doing that for the last 30 years versus someone who's been only doing that particular area or type of practice in that particular area for the last 5 to 10 years. Is it a high-end practice? Is it a low-end practice? You might be interested in fashion and eyewear and dispensing as a whole and trends and that. Go to practices that provide that as a service and expose yourself. What type of clientele do they see on a regular basis? What does a typical day look like? What does a typical week look like? What does a typical month look like? And what are the revenue generating activities look like in that type of practice type that you like versus the cost saving measures? How many staff members do the different types of practices have that are in relation to your area of interest? And what type of equipment is used in the different types of practices? So if someone is a contact lens practitioner or in a contact lens area or practice model, do they all have the same type of equipment? How much did it cost them to have that type of equipment? If it's so contact lens orientated, how much investment does that practice make when it comes to the spectacles frames that they prescribing to patients? So you have to take it upon yourself as a student to expose yourself to as much as you possibly can pertaining to your area of interest, so that you are sitting there when you get to already final year. You already have made the decision in terms of where you want to work, how long you want to be working under someone, who will be that someone or potential somebodies that you'll be working for, the different type of services that you'll be rendering one day. Are there practices that are doing that already? So you don't want to get to final year 2 months before you graduate and discover that I want to go into myopia control, but you have never worked in a practice that specializes in myopia control and you need to start from the bottom. So invest in your area of interest when you are still a student. That will make your journey in that area a lot easier. You'll be able to bypass the mistakes that the previous generation had to go through. You'll be able to overcome the challenges easier. You'll be able to identify the obstacles way in advance, because a lot of my generation and the generation beforehand, we had to learn it on the job. And I'm telling you, on the job training is a lot harder because you lose a lot of money. You lose a lot of money, and that sets you back big time. So invest in your area of interest or competency area of interest, and you do so by exposing yourself to as much of that area of interest as you possibly can. The people that have achieved massive success versus those who have failed and have to rebuild again. Those that didn't start off in that particular area of interest and what made them change and go in that direction. Guys, we're sitting here with a lot of access to a lot of people in your country as well as everywhere else in the world. I myself, with what I do as Vision Straight, as iAfrica Media, as Activate, as all the different businesses pertaining to the different topics within our business, the different services, the different products, the different business solutions that we are offering. There's about 5 to 10 people that I've been exposed to in that particular area constantly. Because what happens in America will be different from what happens in South Africa, will be different to what happens in Zambia, will be different to what happens in Brazil. So I expose myself with what type of businesses that we do to as many people as we possibly can, because then you are able to identify what is your niche, what should your niche be, what is it that you will most gladly wake up to do every single day and look forward to doing, because then you build everything around that area, and it becomes much easier when you have exposed yourself to that which you like the most. You have learned as much as you possibly can pertaining to that, and you know the key opinion leaders, the industry decision-making bodies in that particular area of interest. You know just about as much as you possibly can how the finances work, what the admin work, the people, everything pertaining to that particular area, and your journey becomes much easier. I hope you enjoyed that episode. Do subscribe to the YouTube channel, and anything that you need assistance with in terms of us helping you, exposing you with what we have just covered in this topic, do send us comments in the comment section, and we can't wait to connect with you. Make sure you stay tuned to the third episode, because it's going to be a good one for you. Make sure not to miss it. See you next time.